Now, I want to quickly explain the difference between these two and how it relates to the right angle triangle that you learned last lesson. Justin, I need you to pay attention. Now, angle of elevation. It simply tells you the angle with which you have deviated from your normal view to look at the top. Now, let's imagine someone standing on an horizontal plane, just like I'm standing, just like you walk every day, trying to look at the top of this tree. Perhaps there's a bird there, perhaps there's maybe it's a child whose kite is hanging on the tree. The normal view of this child is this direction, is this level, correct? That is your normal view. You need to either stretch your neck to look up. This is where we can stand for long without injuring our neck, right? But if you do this for long, then you know something, you have to probably visit the doctor the next day. So this is your normal view, always parallel to the horizontal floor. Does that make sense? The angle with which this young man will look at the top to deviate that neck is the angle of elevation. So if I want to look at the top here, I need to, what is that? What?
Eyes.
So I want to look at the top, so my eyes must be in contact with this. Okay? Now, this is my normal level of, sight. I need to deviate. My neck needs to move through this angle. Maybe this angle is alpha. Okay? This angle is called the angle of elevation. So I'm looking at the top. Now, of course, this is probably, the tree is perpendicular to the ground, blah, blah, blah. Then this is a right angle triangle. This is where the SohCahToa thing comes in. Okay? Now, if, for example, you are given the angle of elevation, you are given the height of this person, you are given the distance of this person to the wall, you can find the height of the tree. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
So, for example, from this, whatever, okay, maybe, Giselle is standing 3 feet away from the tree. Then you know this length is 3. Does it make sense? With that, you can get either this or this using your SohCahToa because this angle is known. Okay? So if I ask you for the height of the tree, you can calculate this from the triangle. But is that the height of the tree? You still need to hide the height of Giselle as well because the height of Giselle will be given. Unless you are told to ignore the height of Giselle. Does it make sense? So similarly, let's look at the angle of depression. For the angle of depression, let's imagine someone is here, spying on people. Maybe a sniper. I don't know how to dress sniper. How do they stand? So they stand with their 2 legs like that, and they hold a gun or something. Yeah, whatever. Let's pretend there's somebody there. Okay, so let's pretend Elson is standing at the top of his building, spying at everybody walking around Taipa. Well, maybe he does that, who knows? So, now if Elson was sitting down on the top of that tree, hill, for example, again, we will say this should be his normal views, normal side, right? So maybe somebody mistakenly dropped $1,000 here. And Elsie is wondering who takes that money. Or Elsie is trying to keep an eye on the monies and maybe call his friend to quickly take the money for somebody does that. It's kind of. Anyways, now, for Elsie to be able to view this cash right here, it needs to deviate from his normal view, isn't it? So this is his normal view. It needs to deviate down a little bit and be able to make eye contact with the cash. This angle from here to here, not from here to here, because Elsie was never here. Okay? This angle from here to here is the angle of depression. Maybe I call that beta. Okay? So, problems like this will arise by saying, oh, somebody is standing at the top of the tree, the angle of depression to a particular point is something, we can tell you, or maybe the height of this building or tree is maybe 50 meters, for example. Then the next thing is, how far is that cache from the building? Do you understand that? How far is the cache from the building? Then you know this is the length they want you to find. And that is the nature of the question I've asked you to attempt. How many of you have done few of them? Okay, great. So, but this will give you a better view. Now look at this, everybody. How far is the distance of the cache? Means you are looking for this length, right? But you know nothing about the angle in this shape. Can somebody help me out? You need a right angle triangle with some angles, right? Yeah. But in this case, there is no angle given here. Yes, please.
Wait, isn't it
are you asking a question or you're answering my question?
No, I'm answering.
Okay, good.
It's, you draw a line there
okay.
at the side because the right angle triangle is at the top. It's just inverted.
Okay, how about we don't draw a line? Give me a better way to look at it.
The angle.
You look at Elson's initial vision and the building. That's the right.
This
angle.
one?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so this is right angle, then we subtract.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. So we don't have to create another angle here. There's another way to look at it. Those are two ways already. Third way, yes, please.
It's like, isn't the distance between Elson and the money equals to the distance?
We are not talking about distance here. I'm talking about missing angle. Justin, quickly.
The ground and the
What?
The ground and the building can be.
I don't think they are getting my
The
question.
initial version and the ground are parallel.
Good.
So it's the angles are the same. I forgot the name.
Alternate.
I'm saying that.
That's not what you're saying. So don't even go there. Just shush. Thank you. Now, this initial view and the ground are parallel. With that, these two angles will be the same. They are called alternate angles. So, if you don't want to follow his technique of saying, oh, if this is 30, then this must be 60. Then you can use your SohCahToa on 60. Just use alternate angles. There's something interesting here. Let's pretend this is 30, then this must be 60, right? So if you go by his method, maybe you want to find this, and you already have this one. So you are considering tan. Is that right? Okay, maybe not. Let me try to do something else. Hold on. Okay, if we have this, and you want to find this. Okay, what trig ratio do we use? If I go by its method, which is not Kelly's alternate angle method. So with this angle of depression, I have this. Okay, maybe I want to know is that direct distance of his eye contact or whatever. Anyways, what trig ratio do I use here? Sine. So I'm going to use sine 60. Okay, then I have x over whatever this is. Okay, so I can get my h. Now, if I go by a method which says I can use alternate angles, then if this is 30, this will also be 30. What trig ratio do I use?
Cosine.
Cosine. So cosine of what? Cos what? Cos 30 is equal to x over h. Don't you think we are going to get different answers? Does it occur to you that we might get different answers?
No, they're the same.
What are the same?
The result.
The result of what?
The sin 60 and cos 30.
Sin 60 and cos 30 are the same. There are some questions from last time. I asked you to check some things in the calculator. Did you make any observation?
Yes, answer this.
What do you notice about the sine and the cosine that give you the same result?
45 to 90.
Ansen. Okay, I'm just going to stop at that. Can you say that again, please?
When the angle of sine, the angle of cos add up to 90 degrees, then like the answer is the same.
The answer is the same. That's the only observation I ask you to make. If these angles can be added together to form 90, there is a name for such angle that add up to 90. What's that? What? Speak louder, please. Good question. Is it supplementary or is it complementary? He doesn't know. I don't know either. Supplementary? Raise your hand. You think. I don't want people thinking. I want people who are sure. Complementary? You're sure? Maybe we can vote. Then we can accept whatever. What do you think? Anyway, I'll tell you the trick that I used when I was learning this stuff, because the complementary, supplementary were kind of confusing to me then. But this is the trick. I tried to define a pattern for myself. If you arrange this in alphabetical order, which one comes first? C. Okay, so I write C before S. I know these two, one of them is addition of 90 and one of them is addition of what? 180. So arrange that in numerical order too. Which one comes first? Then I map them like that. So that's the trick. Because my teacher was giving me different English words, complementary, supplementary. You get the chemistry class, they give you a lot of stuff. Biology teacher comes, give you some big words again, and everything was just getting messy in my brain. So all I do is just find patterns. I don't have to be a mobile dictionary. I just find a pattern, and that's how I learned most of the stuff. Okay? Because I know these two are, I don't know, this is probably for this or this is probably for this. They are just going to find me, like, map themselves. Any questions? So, if two angles are complementary, sine of one is the cosine of the other. That is what it actually means, cosine. Cosine. Okay? The same thing with tangent. Cotangent is the complement of sine. Complement of sine. That's the meaning of cosine. The same relation exists in something called tan and cotan. Cot. This is the complement of tan. So if this is 30, this must be 60 to get the same result. Okay, but you don't have business with this until you leave Form 3. You start IB syllable. That's when you start talking about the other three trig ratios. Does that make sense, everybody? So now I asked you to establish a relation. What question was that from the last class worksheet? Can somebody go to that, please? What question was that?
Question C.
Are you serious right now? From what I just said now, I asked you to establish a relation, and all you could tell me is question 16. How does that even relate to what I'm talking about? Seriously? Can somebody tell me that question where I asked you to establish a relation from your observation? Question 6. So in question 6, I said sine theta is equal to, can somebody who has completed it tell me what they wrote? And I said cos theta is equal to, can somebody tell me what they wrote? Which one are you answering? First one. Cos 90 minus theta. And this? Sine 90 minus theta. And this is exactly what we have talked about. So if this is 10, this must be 80. If this is 40, this must be 50. Because the addition must be 90. If you have this and this together, what do you get? 90. So that's why sine of one must be cos of the other. Cos of one must be sine of the other. I asked you to do the observation in maybe question 4 and 5, and I asked you to conclude in question 6, and this is what I expect, not some Shakespeare story or something irrelevant, please. Yes, sir.
So if both sine and cosine are 45 equal?
Then they will be equal, exactly. So that's where they meet. Sine and cosine of 45 will be the same because 45 and 45 are together. Sine 90 and what will be the same? And cos 0. And both of them are 1. So that's why they are the same. Okay? So, does this make sense to us all? So whether you use Kelly's approach or you use his approach, it doesn't matter because once you use the correct angle. So if this is sine and you are using 60, this gives you cos, and you are using 30, it's still going to be the same. Actually, this is 0.8660 if I'm not mistaken. So if this is 0.8660, 0.8660, I times that same number gives you the same value for x. So it doesn't matter which of the approaches you use. Any question? So this is what angle of elevation and depression is all about. So now you can complete the worksheet that you were given today. So I still have 7 minutes in the class. If anybody has any question, please let me know. Collaborate with someone beside you. There are just 10 problems, so I do not expect you So take it home and that becomes another pile of worksheets.
I only have 3 worksheets left. Are you proud of me?
I'm even proud of you bringing a lot to class today.
I have 6.
What?
Disappointment.
You have 6 worksheets. Congratulations. 6 is a perfect number, by the way. So maybe that's why you have 6 worksheets.
Can you name the first 10?
No, I cannot. I only know 6 and 28. I wrote a program in 2011 to generate perfect numbers, so but I really remember 6 and 28.
How does 28 work?
28 is a perfect number because the factors of 28, proper factors of 28, 1 plus 2 plus 7 plus 14 must give back 28. So let's see. When you have that, what do you get? No, what are the factors? No, 4 is missing, right?
Yeah, 28.
Okay.
So there's 7 plus 7.
So this must give you 28
14
back.
plus 14 is
And for 6,
1 plus 2 plus
1 plus 2 plus 3. Where they are proper factors because they are not equal to the number itself. Remember, the number is always a factor of itself.
4.
Like 4 is a factor of 4. 6 is a factor of 6. Right? But because 6 is equal to 6, it's not the proper factor. It's not the proper divisor. So all the other ones that are less than the number are proper divisors. So when you add all the proper divisors, you get the same number again, it's a perfect number.
I'm so perfect.
So you're having 6 worksheets, so that's a perfect number of worksheets.
I actually get from the hypotenuse to
I have posted about the exam. Sorry it's a bit coming late, but you know, the school wants us to always send you exam guide, right? And the exam guide is just this worksheet on the board.
Oh.
Joey, can you film that? That's your guide. So what I did online was to let you know the numbers that we did not do. Like 28, 31, 33, 34, 35.
Do we study those ourselves or is it not going to be on?
No, you are taking your exam in November. So the next teacher, I will have to communicate that these are the things you are here to do. The next teacher will do that before you start your exam. I want to teach you as well, but you know it depends on what the school has done.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So another thing is the playlist will still be available for you. So even if I'm not here, you want to revise some topics you have done, please always go back to the playlist and revise on your own. Yes, sir.
Kelly, this? Yeah. Wanna check?
Yeah. Guys, can you look at question 2? Alex has a question and I need it answered by the class. Can you look at question 2? Give me the last sentence in that question 2A. Give, from the word give.
Give your answer to the appropriate degree of accuracy.
What does that mean? 3 significant figures. Okay? For IGCSE, numbers are in 3 significant figures, I mean like lengths. While angles are to what?
1 decimal.
1 decimal. That's part of the note I wrote on Edmodo, so you guys do not forget.
It's on the top of the page.
That shows something. You write it properly, but you can leave it at that, so you can just use it here. Is that AC? So is this your AC? But isn't that the one with appropriate degree? So do it as 3 significant figures. Unless I say the exact value. The exact value means leave it as square root. Yes. You write on our table. Yes. Significant figure means the first significant figure is the first non-zero digit. So it could be after the decimal point. Okay? Yeah, so that's 3 and 7. Yes, sir. For decimal place, Alex, you start counting immediately after the decimal. It doesn't matter if the first decimal place is 0, but the first significance cannot be 0. So like that number, 0.00123, is to 5 decimal places, but 3 significant figures. Can you see the difference? But to get a perfect answer, you shouldn't use approximate number.
I'm trying to think about the gay marriage.
Okay, write it down. But I didn't wrong.
I want to see where we want to see where this goes. Nah, that's where it's so absurd. That's where it's so, and then you both are. There's nothing where you fuck it, you'll be like getting
That's it.
when the shit is
Now this is for practice. Matrices with transformation is just for practice.
One question.
discussing chess
I think I'm going to have it back to see the questions. I can give you a download it again online.
Don't be a test tip.
I hope you guys are practicing with ideas.
No, wait.
Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. It's 11:37. I have a class in 3 minutes. Joey?
Okay.
Yeah, I could count the next
Oh,